Welcome to the Rainbow Gateway Oracle. This is a reading for Virgo, all placements, sun, moon, rising, etc. If it resonates, it's your reading. We all have Virgo somewhere in our chart and get activated from time to time, even if that's not a dominant energy in our astrology. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your likes, subscribes, and shares. We have a mixture of unicorns, cats, and dragons, and we're going to start out there. I have readings in the description box for sale. You can check out the links there. I'll never reach out to you and ask for money. I'll never try to sell you readings other than what's in my description box. And I'd love to offer you clarity and insight into your life and wandering path. And let's get into it here. We have bliss, cherishing the day. Let's see what comes out. Take a nice deep breath there. There may be some inability to allow yourself to have a good time and relax, okay? You're allowed to feel bliss. You're allowed to feel joy. You're allowed to be happy. And it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks or says or does. You're allowed to be happy. And joy is our natural state of being, okay? It's more along the lines of contentment. There's a sense of neutrality and just overall ease. And that's our natural state of being. And when we're not feeling that way, those are indicators that there's something that needs attention, whether that's giving ourselves something that we need on a day-to-day basis, like healthy food, good sleep, social connections with people, things like that, giving ourselves our basic needs. And sometimes we have to look deeper. We have to look at our attitudes and beliefs regarding our own emotions, regarding our own actions. We've got to take the time to look into our subconscious belief patterns to see the things that we're just automatically believing without actually considering why we're believing it. And you're allowed to be blissed out. You're allowed to enjoy every single day. And the universe wants you to know that you're allowed to be happy. There are a lot of people out there who are miserable and wounded. And they don't mean to necessarily make us miserable, but they're miserable, so they automatically make us miserable. Some do it on purpose, some don't realize they're doing it like that. They can often give us the message like, if we're happy, we better hurry up and, get miserable with them, okay? They have the saying, misery loves company. And because people who are miserable are in fear and they're afraid to take the steps on their path that would pull them out of fear and give them what they want. And there's a subconscious disallowment, like the individual doesn't allow themselves to have happiness because somewhere they were conditioned that was bad or wrong or something that could get them punished. Like even, displaying joy can get you punished by certain people because of their internal afflictions, essentially. Those are the haters. They want to get you to hate with them. Okay? You're allowed to be happy. You're allowed to be joyful. This is something you really need to work on because there's a lot of allowing other people to bring you down with them, okay? You don't have to be sad and miserable with everyone else. You can have a good time. And you can still have empathy for their suffering. But there's the thing. These are the kind of people who just will drain you dry. And you don't deserve it. See, we have the summertime vibes now. The wild energy of midday. This is where you're headed. Bliss, summer, happy energy, creative vibes, standing strong in a self-care practice. Yeah, I'm getting like some Leo energy coming here. Being really self-respecting, being strong in your boundaries, having integrity, and allowing yourself to play and also rest. Cats, they lay around all day. They're not lazy. They just lay around. They don't always have to be constantly doing stuff. They play with things, whatever. They're lounging. You're allowed to lounge. You're allowed to play. You're allowed to have a good time. So just because you're laying around doesn't mean you're lazy. Your body's resting. And, that helps maintain our youth and our vitality too. And it also gives us inspiration. When we allow ourselves that rest, we can tap into our inspiration. We align with our parasympathetic nervous system. And that takes us to the rest and digest phases of our, neurological connection to ourselves. And it's very important that you tap into your nervous system in that way, because we have the parasympathetic nervous system, and then we have the sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight and flight. That's what happens when you get triggered in fear. That's also what happens when you're in motion, when you're in activity, when you're exercising, when you're doing a yang kind of a yoga practice, like a vinyasa flow or something like that, versus a yin, which is more restorative, calming. That, both yogas will tap into your parasympathetics, but one will activate the other ones too. And we have star gathering, stars aligned, remembering home, soul family. You're getting ready to step through a gateway. And, this is a spiritual gateway, energetic gateway. You're moving through into a new cycle. It's going to be a whole new energetic experience for you. You've never gone through something like this before, okay? And with this allowance, you're on the precipice here of shifting into going from misery loves company into happiness, and not being pulled back into that old doldrum of a mindset and of a accompanied experience with others. You're getting ready to push through. It's a whole new cycle. It's a whole new world almost. It's like what I'm hearing, a whole new world. And you're going to be meeting some new friends along the path. So if you don't feel like you're connecting and aligning with others quite yet, that is on the horizon here. There is a gathering coming up. You're going to find some people to play with, to be happy with. All right? It's going to be very different than what you've been used to. And they're going to be people who are more like you. And, this is very much like a soul contract, but there's, I'm hearing Sanskrit, but it's not necessarily Sanskrit. There's like DNA and whatever has been passed down from the stars to you in a way that's beyond our real human capacity to understand. There's a language that's encoded in your energetics, and you have these sort of, what I'm getting is it's like these lock and key things. I don't really have the technical mind jargon for that stuff, but it's like these secret key codes, and it's like you have this with certain people on planet Earth where when you link up with them, there's something that locks together. And there's particular work you have to do with these individuals. And you know, you don't always stay together for the entire time, but you come in, you connect, you turn something, you turn a key, you turn a lock. It opens some things, it opens some valves, it creates a different flow. And these are going to be people who are going to stick with you this time, but you're going to be detaching from some other ones here. Let's get this deck here. This is the Heart's Path Oracle cards. Hang on, it says. Wake up your tenacity and determination. Jupiter is the grand planet in the sky. It's all about abundance. It's all about friends. It's a benefic planet. It's when it aligns with other planets, it typically brings rewards, good things, higher knowledge, even travel, foreign travel. And that's coming up here because there's a need to realize that abundance comes in many forms. It's not always monetary. So we can think, God, you know, I've been on my spiritual path, I've been doing all this work, and why don't I have any money? Well, are you looking at the things that the universe brings you that are not monetary? Because abundance is many things, not just money. Unfortunately, you know, many of us live in a capitalistic society, and money is having really negative effects on most people, considering the level of greed that is abound. However, this message is in here to be a commentary on the current, you know, world at large, but more to help you understand that the spirit gives us psychic gifts, friends, nature gifts. Like, there's things that need to be appreciated that aren't being appreciated. And it's not all the time that that happens, but instead of seeing that the universe brought you an amazing connection with a bird in the moment, you're focusing on what you don't have instead. And you've got to focus on what the universe is bringing you in the moment to bring you peace, to bring you joy. And tuning into the frequency of birds and getting quiet is really recommended here for you. Finding appreciation in the bird song when you're having a hard time, finding gratitude and appreciation. It's not wrong when you have those kind of feelings and you don't feel grateful and you want to say, fuck this shit and who cares and whatever, and you get in that mood. It's not wrong to get in that mood, but finding the bird song, finding the things that you can appreciate can help to pull you out of that energy too. So that's what is important, because money is stressful and can be stressful depending on how we're looking at it. And if it seems that we're short on money, we can try to focus on the way that the universe pays us, because, you know, money is not something that's growing on trees, literally. You know, I mean, you can look at fruit on a tree and see that that's the tree giving money, but it's fruit, you know, it's in a different format. And, you know, we have to recognize that the universe is rich all around us. The earth is rich all around us. We're really rich in a lot of ways that we don't see, because we're looking for money, because society teaches us to be all about the Benjamins, right? There's a need to shift the attitude when it comes to what you have and what you don't have. And it's really going to help you a lot. And it's nothing that you've done wrong. It's the conditioning that we've been given from our family, from society. And we don't often realize that we're in that scarcity vibration. Vegans, solitude, independent, peace. This is the Martians deck. And excuse me. The guides want to point out the word peace here. It's important for you to find peace in regards to vegans. Find peace in regards to vegans. There's something about vegans that you're not understanding, or there's a prejudice there somewhere. These are just people who want to do good things. And, you know, there's a really good book that I'd like to recommend, and you can get it on audiobook. It's an easy to read kind of a book, I feel. It's short and it's quick. It's called The 5 Levels of Attachment by Don Miguel Ruiz. And it talks about the levels of mind where there's really strong and rigid belief structures that aren't necessarily all based in truth. There's a lot of fear that has built the belief structure, and a lot of impartial truths. There's, you know, sometimes good intent, but it's mixed with fear. You know, there's these levels of attachment in our mind to particular ways of seeing the world, having our opinions and everything like that. When we align with Jupiter, Jupiter brings in a higher wisdom, a higher knowledge. It takes us from learning our ABCs to seeing how to formulate a sentence structure, for example. You know, we don't have all of the information and knowledge quite yet, and we're missing something here. You're missing something when it comes to your beliefs about vegans, and the universe wants you to take a look at that further and just be kind to yourself and to others in the process. And the elevation of the knowledge is what's here. And attaining higher wisdom is just part of our life path as we move through time. We learn things, we grow. And we can't possibly know something until we learn it. It's impossible. If I don't teach you your ABCs, you're not going to learn that. I mean, you may be able to absorb it in some kind of way, but that's still another learning process, right? And there's many different learning processes, but sometimes our beliefs are too rigid and they can actually cause us to block ourselves from our growth because we're very impenetrable in what we're believing, because we're missing a really pertinent piece of knowledge, pertinent information. In the book, The 5 Levels of Attachment, it talks about these different levels. So you have like fanaticism is all the way, you know, someone who's like, you know, a super zealot about a particular thing. It's like all the way one extreme, you know, really identified. That's the thing, is these belief structures become part of our identity, right? And then we don't know who we are without that identity in a certain way, which can feel scary to the subconscious. And, you know, this is all the kind of stuff that we move through on a spiritual path. You can also look into the biology of belief, Dr. Bruce Lipton. And this book, 5 Levels of Attachment by Don Miguel Ruiz, I really, really recommend for you. We have surrender here, letting go of the darkness. The universe is in control. It's real easy for us to try to take control, to try to do it all, to be so self-sufficient and so perfect and so this and so that and so healed and so everything. You know, it can be difficult to surrender, but that's the recommendation from the universe here. Because when you let go, you can allow for things to grow. And it's like holding on tightly doesn't allow the emergence of the flora and fauna in your mind. It's like the belief structures are so rigid. You know, it's kind of like, you know, when you get a pot and you have like a flower or plant in there and it gets root bound, okay? That's what happens in your mind. When you have like false belief structures, everything gets bound up, wound up, and, you know, it can't grow. The soil is not aerated in your mind, so the good seeds aren't getting planted. Everything's getting blown away. You're having a whole problem with erosion and, you know, and it's just really stuck. And needing to allow yourself to get grounded and release. Like, I really feel like things are lightening up for you already. You know, I'm not pulling out like really dark cards and stuff like that, but I feel like this is what's about to pop for you. And it's really, really bright. And the universe isn't wanting you to be focused on the dark anymore. And you see how it's kind of like there's this, I mean, obviously it's the sky here, but this is what's coming out here. It's like this. There's just this little portion of darkness left, and everything else is like the daylight, right? It's the daylight, it's the sun's out. There's just this little portion of darkness here. You need to look at these belief systems here and let some of that stuff go. Dreaming. Everyone has different beliefs about life and what life is and everything like that, but There are many who understand life to be a dream. Waking life is a dream, just as sleeping life. When you go to sleep at night, you're dreaming, even if you don't remember it or not. Your day-to-day life is also a dream, but it's a different type of a dream and has different, rules and structures about things. Like you have to eat, you have to have water, and you have to do all of these things, but you are still dreaming. That's how synchronicity is possible. That's how, it can seem like your thoughts are coming out of another person's mouth when you're walking down the street and you go, oh my God, I was just thinking that. How is it that they're saying that out of their mouth? Well, these are the things that your self-awareness taps into, tunes into, and you start to see that you're dreaming. And the universe is wanting you to tune into your dreams at night. There are messages in your dreams. A journal is good for you if that's something that calls to you, but if it doesn't, don't worry about it. There may be dreams that you're consistently having, or there's something in a dream that you need to remember that's going to help you in your life. And it's also going to bring more, I feel like it's trying to show you something about your past lives. Because the cat has 9 lives. It's trying to show you something about a past version of yourself. Okay? Like, maybe 10 years ago of who you used to be versus who you are now. There's something that needs to be resolved from a past version of yourself. And there's something that's going on in a dream here that's needing to be noticed. Whether that's your nighttime dream or your daytime dream, there's a sign, there's a synchronicity, there's something the universe is trying to relay to you, and it needs to be seen. Ruling. This is a person in your life who is controlling and thinks that they're the boss, they're the bee's knees, they're the queen, the king, whatever it is. They have a real hold on you. They have a real hold on you. The universe wants you to know that they're afraid to lose you. But the way they control you is evil, okay? And it is definitely something you need to get away from. And this is someone that you love very much, and you know who I'm talking about already. But they're never going to change, and they're always going to try to hurt you because they're afraid that you're going to leave them. And they don't know how to get you to stay without hurting you. And even if you tried to have good conversations and, open your heart and all that, they can't open theirs to you. They're really surrounded in their fear, and they're really weighted down by more things than they could possibly really unwind in this lifetime. And, this is someone who, I feel like what I'm getting here is this is like someone who's been, bombed in life. I mean, this could even be a veteran in your life, someone who actually went to war and had stuff like that, or is in the military perhaps, but that might not be for all of you. But like it, they're like that because they grew up in like a violent type of environment, and you understand that, empathize with that and everything, but you can't change it. And their wounds are too vast for you to continue to put yourself in harm's way, because it's like on a real subconscious level, they're bombing themselves constantly. When they're hurting you, they're bombing themselves. So it's like it ricochets, they're hurting you, and it's, they're really trying to hurt themselves, but there's nothing you can do to quit that. So recognize that it's a disability that they have, but it's never going to stop the violence toward you, emotionally or physically or whatever it is for you. We have Shambhala initiations, retreating to recharge, trusting in the process, Dharma. Retreating to recharge. When you encounter this person, you have to get out of the room in order to get your energy back up, because they suck you dry so quickly. It's just better for you to stay away from them. It's what's coming out. It's really strong here that you need to stay away from them, regardless of who they are in your life. And I know how difficult that can be when it's people like our partners, our parents, our BFFs, people we've known for years and have grown up with. The fallen soldiers, are definitely many, and all we can really do is grieve our losses and trust the universe, and that's not always easy, that's our work. We have this one, toxic witches. Be cautious of those who take more than they give. This is this person. They're taking more from you. They're gaslighting you. They don't make you feel good when you're around them. And, it's definitely having to do with codependency issues here, and insecure attachment issues, and this may have to do with addiction issues, drinking, getting away from behaviors that make you feel like shit, people that make you feel like shit. We have the Seven of Cups here. Not every great option you're given will be a great option for you. So the universe does this a lot, and many of us in life are taught to settle, okay? Settle for what you can get. Don't do that, okay? Follow what your heart tells you. Because when you settle, there's an energy of fear, of like, I'm never going to get anything better than this. I better just take this, or I'm not going to get anything better. But we have to learn to only take things that feel aligned and feel good for us. and trust that more opportunities will come. I've had experiences where I've really needed something and it just never came. And all these opportunities, it's like it's round peg, square hole, where it almost fits but not quite. And we have to stop taking the things that don't fit us all the way. And, you can't put a round peg in a square hole. It doesn't fit ever. And, sometimes, you get those puzzles. You ever put together a puzzle and you find a piece and it kind of looks like it fits in one spot and you keep trying to fit it in there because you can't find the one that does fit. That one looks like the shape that would fit there. Do you get what I'm saying? You keep trying to stick it in the slot. It's just the mind. It tries to do that. It keeps trying to stick it in the slot even though it doesn't fit because it kind of looks like that. I went to China before. I don't know any Chinese really, but I spent some time learning Spanish in college, although I'm not fluid. But my brain, when I was in China, kept looking for another language other than English to speak. I kept wanting to speak Spanish, but that doesn't work either, right? So, this is the thing to see about, how our minds kind of work sometimes. It keeps dipping into the, it's like you have potato chips and you want dip, but you keep dipping your potato chips in peanut butter and going, what the fuck, and it's pissing you off. You don't want peanut butter on your fucking potato chips. It's gross. And that's the thing that you have to see. It's gross. Trust, love, and friendship. You're moving out of this, okay? This is definitely some shit you're getting through. You're moving out of it. And trusting yourself, trusting the universe, trusting in love, trusting in healthy, good things, and trusting that you deserve that is really going to help you. It's not always easy to find that trust. This is what the universe is having you work towards, is to be fully trusting of yourself, and then you can fully trust another person, because the universe will always tell you at that point when someone else is shady to you. Until then, we kind of have to figure it out for ourselves. The more you trust, the more you're going to align with your authentic being and, the things that you enjoy doing in life, right? Transformation, defining yourself. Yeah, this is definitely the time when you're really going to be becoming a whole different person than you've ever been in life. You've really done a lot of hard work. There's still a little bit of stickiness there with control stuff that we talked about and everything here, but you've got it. It's not anything bad. It's just stuff that was given you that now you have to work through it and let it go. It's like, you know what I'm saying. I'm going to pull another card here. If this is your reading, you know what I'm saying. I'm really grateful for you coming to this reading and watching this all the way. And we're going to be doing romance readings and subscriptions in the future on this channel. We have grooming here. Toxic people hunt other people, okay? They hunt other people that they can groom to do what they need to do, what they need you to do, okay? But they don't give a shit about what you need or how to help you or to give back to you. They groom you so that they can get everything they need out of you, and then when you don't have anything more to give, they leave you there dried up and empty. And this is a process that takes time, and people like this don't stop this type of behavior, okay? They discard, they devalue, they throw you away like trash. They're going to keep doing it if you don't say goodbye, okay? You have value, you have worth. That's the thing you have to recognize, is that you're not trash. They are, okay? They treat you like trash because they're treating you like they feel inside, and like that's what they do to other people. They abuse themselves, and so they also abuse you. And they need you to feed off of, because they can't find their own inner light. They can't find their own sparks. They need yours. And you don't have to give that up to them, okay? You don't have to give that up to them. You don't have to be their victim. And it's not easy to get out of dynamics like that, but you can, okay? You can. The door's wide open. You are free. The things that you have to work through are the emotional attachments and the belief structures that are kind of sticky to you like a web. The door's wide open, but you have to move through the sticky strands in the web in order to vacate, okay? And that can be tricky because sometimes the spider comes around and you have to maneuver around the spider. But you can. You know how to maneuver around the spider already. And that's the way you're going to have to get out of it, okay? You don't have to make a lot of waves in the web. You don't have to make a lot of movement. You can do it real slow and stealthy. And you don't have to make a lot of moves. You know, you can make 1, 2, 3, and you're out. You know what I mean? Like, you need a little bit of a strategy and you're out of there, okay? And just breathe in it, breathe in it, breathe in it, and go. You can do it. You can do it. Thank you for being here. I hope this reading is helpful to you. Believe in yourself. I believe in you. You can do this, okay? Aloha. See you next time.